Subscribe to Bisbo and press the bell icon. See boring news turn into enjoyable stories. Can you name the Indian player who scored 171 runs of 115 balls in the semi-finals of the 2017 ODI World Cup against England? MS Dhoni, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma? No, wrong. It was Harmanpreet Kaur, whose swashbuckling innings led India into the finals, which they lost. T20 finalists once again on International Women's Day 3 years later, a record 86,000 plus fans turned up at the Melbourne Cricket Ground to watch India play Australia in the 2020 Women's World Cup final. So how many would you think would turn up at Eden Gardens were India to hold a women's IPL? A staggering 342 million, almost half of cricket viewers in India are women. During IPL 2020, female viewership grew 23% from the year before to 171 billion viewing minutes. Aware of this, BCCI tested the waters in 2018 by playing a one-off women's T20 exhibition match along with the men's IPL. This gradually grew into a 3-team 4-match event over the next 2 years. But only 13,000 turned up for the 2019 finals, some holding placards. Our girls are no less than our boys. Though TV viewership doubled for the 2020 edition from 2.2 billion minutes to 5.34 billion. But it is still nothing compared to the 27 billion minutes of men's. The pandemic broke BCCI's momentum and they couldn't convert it into a full-fledged IPL tournament.
If it wasn't for COVID, we would have started one by now.
However, many challenges remain. If they have just 3 or 4 teams, there won't be enough matches or hype. They must have at least 6, but then there aren't enough quality players to pick from. 150 players would be needed to make 6 squads. Assume 48 foreign players are allowed, 8 per team like it is for men's. 102 Indian players would still be needed, of which just 40 are India capped, which leaves us with 62 vacant slots.
We need to create more number of quality younger talent for a women's IPL.
For that, BCCI needs to have a range of trophies like they have for men's, like the 4-day Ranji Trophy, the 50-over Vijay Hazare and the T20 Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. A limiting factor is that women's domestic cricket presently has no multi-day red ball tournament.
Having only T20s and ODIs slows the process of maturing from domestic to international cricket.
Despite this, there is some amazing talent on show. Smriti Mandhana was twice named ICC Player of the Year. India's T20 captain Harmanpreet Kaur was Player of the Tournament in the latest season of the Aussie Women's T20 League WBBL Women's Big Bash League comprising 8 city-based teams, which turned out a learning experience for administrators. At first, seats remained empty even though ground entry was free. To attract more eyeballs, the matches had to be broadcast. So Cricket Australia gave Channel 10 $500,000 Australian dollars or 2.7 crore rupees.
We want you to use this money to show it live.
The move took time to pay off, but almost 150,000 watched each match, 4 times the expected number, with the 2021 final garnering 535,000 viewers. From the 4th season on, tickets had to be paid for some matches. By the 5th, the Women's League had grown big enough to become a standalone event. And from the 7th, the 2021 season, it was no more free to air, as Foxtel began charging subscriptions from match 1. In India's case, money will not be a problem, as all sponsors for men's IPL came forward to sponsor the 2020 edition of the Women's Challenge. Neither will marketing be an issue. A huge number of women and children follow IPL. Leave the marketing to us. Already 3 of India's top women cricketers are familiar faces in several ads and also feature in the 2019 Top 100 Forbes India celebrity list. Biopics are being made on Mithali Raj, played by Taapsee Pannu, and another with Jhulan Goswami, with Anushka Sharma essaying her role. The most important thing is to develop enough quality players and widen the talent pool from 50 to 150 players, some of whom can be found and groomed from among the 660 currently playing in the domestic pool, and others by hunting for raw young talent by setting up camps in rural schools like Andhra Pradesh is doing by using the services of Purnima Rao, former India coach. Another thing the BCCI must do is increase the contract amounts given to women players. Today, even the lowest paid Indian male international cricketer earns twice what the top women earn, and 10 times his women counterparts in Grade C. The issue is not just about women's equality, but of attracting more players to the game. To make a decision to pursue sports as a career, they must know that there is sufficient money to be earned as a professional cricketer.
When you properly invest in female sport, the results follow and everyone benefits: the game, the fans, and the players.
Right now, talented girls prefer to play for railways as it is the only one to guarantee them a job. So it is no wonder they have won 22 out of 26 senior domestic competitions since 2006. BCCI last year doubled match fees for domestic women's players after 15 years, by which time many must have retired. Meanwhile, after the successful conclusion of the 100, where 267,000 spectators turned up and 4.3 million TV viewers watched women's matches, a much more cash-strapped England's cricket board doubled women's salaries for the next 2022 edition to a maximum of 31.2 lakhs, not too far behind India's top women cricketers. While women athletes in other sports like tennis have been getting equal prize money since at least 15 years, the winners of the Women's ODI World Cup will get $1.32 million, which despite being doubled from the previous edition is still a third of what men get. Six-time champions Australia are firm favourites for this edition, having won 31 of their last 33 games. Runners-up in 2005 and 2017, India, during the last 1 year, has lost to England, Australia and New Zealand. BCCI can partly be blamed as the players became rusty for not getting to play at all during the first year of the pandemic. Yet the team is highly motivated to give veterans Mithali Raj and Jhulan Goswami a perfect swan song to their careers. They can take inspiration from how our women's hockey team gave their Dutch coach Jor de Marine a parting gift to remember by creating history and reaching the semi-finals of the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, beating both Iran and Australia, missing a medal by a whisker. A good showing here will make sure the women's IPL will start with a bang. Happy Women's Day from Bisbo to all our viewers. Bisbo's Limerick. Women's cricketers are now coming into their own, creating a league, a men's IPL they clone. The talent is there as they look everywhere, building an event from the seeds they have sown. You will also find these sources listed in the video description section.